connection. All right, here we go. I think we're doing it. Yes.
Yes, we're doing it.
Yes, we are. Welcome, everyone. We have a few people here watching. Yay. Thanks for joining us. This is the first time on This is a brand new channel. We thought we'd put together a channel that we can use just to go live occasionally with the two of us and also some of our mixed media friends. So welcome to our first ever live channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to help us get some traction and get this going. But
Remember to like.
Right, here we go. Let's put us both on the screen to say hi.
Okay.
For those of you who might not know us, my name's Lori Williams, and I'm an Alcohol Inc. and mixed media artist. I am an instructor in the Alcohol Inc. art community, mixed media mad, have a book about Alcohol Inc., creating art with Alcohol Inc. that came out earlier this year. We have a second one coming out. Terry's in it, along with a little over a dozen more contributors to that book. And so if you are familiar with Alcohol Inc., you might know some of us from there. My website is Trumpet Art. So I've been creating art for 10 years. This is my 11th year as an artist, as being titled an artist, but I've always been creative and doing things. So it's all not totally new. But that's me. That's who I am. And Terry, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Terry Jones, and Lori and I actually had just popped up today about us meeting. You contacted me for something. You were in Hiawassee, and you said, "Are you open by any chance?" And so it was this weekend.
Was it really?
Yes, that we met physically. We knew each other from the internet, and we had been talking on the internet, and we had been teaching together, I think, on the internet.
Yeah.
And you jumped into my studio when I had the open studio in Brasstown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was 2015, I think.
Okay, so that was 8 years ago. Wow, time flies. Time flies. Anyway, here we are.
Yes,
so we're glad you guys joined us today.
And I've been an artist for many years. I ended up just taking up Alcohol Inc. probably in 2014. And then as many people do, I kind of got over to mixed media. Lori kind of corrupted me really a lot with gel plates. And I started doing mixed media, and Lori and I just completed an 8-week course that is going to be an evergreen course on the ultimate gel plate experience. So it's got 60 some lessons and lots of.
It's a lot. It's actually over 70 now, and it's still growing actually.
Yes.
We're still adding things, filling in blanks and adding new projects on a regular basis there. So you guys should check that out if you really are into gel printing. So that's what we're actually going to do tonight. So tonight we have our gel plates out, and we were both talking, and we had both just got placed an order for some new stencils from Temu, and I think that's how you pronounce it. And I got them. I didn't expect to be that pleased with them because they were so inexpensive. It's like one of those like warehouse type websites where you get things super discounted. So I'm like, what the heck? I'll try. And I ordered, probably $20 worth. And this big stack of stencils came.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I felt like Christmas, and they're actually really good. And I'm having a lot of fun this weekend with these. So I'm hoping we can play around with those tonight some.
Well, and the same thing happened with me. In fact, I'm teaching a class at the John C. Campbell Folk School in August. So I ended up, every time I ordered one, I ordered 3. So I'd have a couple available for the class because they were so inexpensive. So I got a whole big stack too. And some of them are really great. And some of them are really, that's supposed to be a bird. So
exactly.
You are in some ways getting what you paid for, but
right.
The simple ones are pretty good. Some of the other ones, not so much, but still, they're. I don't use stencils in my art, I don't usually use stencils. Like I don't put a stencil down and do the whole
Right.
plate.
Me,
What
either.
I
I
use,
usually use elements of it.
yeah, I use a lot of elements and stencils, and I use stencils and layering. So that's a little what we're going to play with tonight, right? Layering and stencil.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I have a couple of things to show that I haven't shown anywhere else, not even in our course, that I just discovered. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's layering, but it's also includes some alcohol ink and image transfer. So like not only are we doing image transfer, we're gonna do some layering, and we're gonna do some alcohol ink. So I'll save that towards the end to show, because we don't play with stencils. I want to show this, play around with the stencils first, because it doesn't require stencils. But it is layering, and I'm excited to show it because I just discovered it. I thought it looked pretty cool. So
Excellent.
yeah. Well, Terry, do you want to kick us off, or?
Well, let me go down to my place here. Do you see me? Okay. You do see me. So
I'll switch one too.
one of the positives about the cheap stencils is they're cheap. One of the negatives is that most of the time they usually don't fit really that well.
Right.
One of the things that I do to get around that is I am a chronic cutter of stencils. So what I will do is, if this doesn't fit, what I'll do is I'll cut around these edges, so at least it doesn't have the hard edge on
I
it.
love that idea.
It really helps a lot. This is a stencil that I did. This is one of the PM Artist Studio stencils. And I did that with this because, as you can see, if the hard edge would make a hard edge. So being that, just cutting around it and making it, basically I'm making the mask, the stencil, a mask. And I do the same thing. This is another cheap stencil. What do you do with them? Because a lot of the cheap stencils come in circles. And so you have the circles, but then if you're on a 5x7 plate, you have all of this circle stuff in there. So that's the other thing that I frequently do. This used to be theoretically a 6-inch circle, or 8-inch circle, I think, but 6-inch, but they're not really 6 inches because they're from China and they don't have the same inches we have.
Yeah.
So I cut them out and just kind of make them into, literally, they become masks. And so I do a lot of these and I just kind of cut them out. So I have pieces of stencils. And like here's one of the ones that's a square. And so you can see I've cut out this edge of it so I can use it a little better and end up without having my bad edges. So that's the first thing that I usually do with stencils.
I really like that idea because I have a bunch that don't quite fit, but I like a lot of the elements of them. That's a great way to do it, I think.
Well, and the other thing is, one of the things that I do a lot, and I'll just show you right now how I do it. One of the things I do a lot is I will just, I'll take a stencil like this one here, okay? And I will just throw down some color on it. So here I've got color on it, but I don't really want necessarily the whole stencil. So I will flip it over, and I will flip it over, and I will flip it over. So this allows me to just get a lot of really cool, different texture in there. And what you're going to see now, if you can see through that, that's going to have a lot of really cool, different texture in there. And then I can actually take another color once this dries and do the same thing with the same shape or one of the different stencils. It's just using the stencil as a disruptor, I guess.
Manipulator.
Yeah, a manipulator, or whatever. It doesn't, I'm not looking necessarily for totally the pattern of the stencil, but I'm looking for the repetition of the patterns. if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
So
So
now, yeah.
Mary, I was going to see if some of the people that are watching it, do you guys work with stencils? Is that what you do? Do you make your own stencils? What are some of your favorite stencils? Share with us in the comments and let us know what you use. And because we have our own approaches, but I'm sure some of you do as well. So if you have secrets that you like to share, or you'd like to share, give us your idea of how the ways that you use the stencil, we'd like to hear in the comments.
Yes, definitely. Of course, I haven't figured out how to do the comments, so hopefully you're on top of that, Lori.
Yeah, I'm watching comments.
This is good. This is good. So, so then the next thing that I would do is then think of maybe putting a second color on this, because I like to make lots of different layers in the same stencil, using the same gel plate, because I use a lot of what I use it for is collages. So if I can build some really interesting color and texture, then I can use it in collages in a lot of different ways. So this is just my little fan, and this pretty much looks like it's kind of dry enough. I'm going to just put another layer on it and just quickly put this other layer on it. But then I'm going to use a stencil again to put more texture in it. So like this one, I like, this is a good one that I like, that puts a lot of different texture in it. So what'll happen is you'll get the dark and the lighter areas here. You can see how you'll see part of that stencil. And when I flip it over, you can see that there's a lot of different information in that stencil. So I can either let that dry and pull it. Usually I will let that dry and pull it with a third color. So it looks like you've already done something, Lori.
Oh, no, I'm just cleaning my plate.
And a lot of times with the third color, I would use, and I might even, I'm a little bit ADD here. So I might end up actually putting a third element or a fourth element in here. And now I have all sorts of different elements happening. Now, because I used the fairly opaque first layer, it holds really well. It's not going to totally disappear on me. I'm going to have a nice turquoise here, because the magenta is transparent. I most probably will use a color that is a bit warmer than the magenta for my next layer. And that ought to kind of just pull it all a little together. In fact, maybe what I'll use is a gold. So let me see about using a gold. And when I start getting these many, many, many layers, which this is not a many, this is only going to be 3 layers. But if I get a lot of layers, the more layers, the heavier the piece of paper you need to pull it on. So, but for this one, I think what I will pull it on is just a regular, here it is. This is just one of the sketch paper pieces of rice paper. It's the thicker rice paper. So I'm going to take the folk art metallic, nice inexpensive metallic, and I'm going to just put a little bit of that on. And then I will take another, I don't want to get too much of the, I don't want to get too much. I actually put a little bit more than I really like to put on, but let's put some, see what happens if I put, yeah. That's interesting. I don't know what it's doing.
It looks like it's lifting it.
It does look like it's lifting it, but that's okay. We'll see what happens.
I get some of the coolest prints when that happens.
I know, same here. So I'm not worried about it. It looks like it did a little bit of the one is so much more liquid than the other that it's going in the spaces. Does that make sense? Let's see what happens. Oh, that is very cool though. Nice and I think it's going to be a very cool print. Let me see about pulling it. Okay, it's not pullable yet. So Lori, are you ready for a show of some sort?
Sure, why not? I'll switch over to my screen here. So I'm going to remove you from the spotlight for a few minutes and I'll
Not a problem.
myself. Okay. So like I said, I got the stash of stencils and I've just begun playing with them, but they're pretty cool. And actually I kind of like, they fit the size that I ended up getting. They fit the 5x7 plate just fine if you use elements of it. But if I were using one of my larger plates, like my 8x10, I'm gonna have an issue with the edges. So for now, I'm just using it on 5x7, but I'm just holding it over here so you guys can see some of the cool design.
Oh, that's a cool one. I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I mean, some of them I didn't remember ordering, like I think they just kind of sent a bunch. But you know, I'm not complaining. I think they're cool. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the coral one they call
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what I'll do is I will I want to do some metallics, pulling some metallics.
Okay.
I use a lot. You'll see me when I do my demos. So Terry uses the Lucas and she'll use some golden sometimes. I use a lot of Liquitex basics, especially for my image transfers. And if I'm pulling alcohol inks, I use the Liquitex basics gel medium. But I also use a lot of the lower price paints, the Deco Art paints, and they come in metallics and they come in a pretty wide range of colors. And I really like how they look. And so I thought what I would do is I would do something kind of two-toned with a little bit of maybe some do I have a burnt sienna in here maybe? Instead I'll use a little bit of this red. So I'm going to use like a red and a brown and I'll pull it with a gold. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit on my plate, shake that up a little bit. Sometimes these, if you don't shake them or you don't use them as often, like if you don't use them every day, they will get the like the glycerin on top. So you really want to mix it up so that glycerin's mixed in with the paint well. So I'm just giving a little shake there. So I'm going to put a little, this is a little bit different colors than I normally use. Let's see.
Yeah, it's not pink.
Yeah, and I usually use pinks and purples and stuff, but I'm kind of in this like, I'm starting to think about fall already. Isn't that crazy?
Right, yeah.
And so, and it's July. I guess maybe because it's so hot, I'm wishful thinking here.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just going to spread this out on the plate, just like this. I'm going to be doing my pulls tonight with mostly with regular copy paper. I do a lot of with my play. I do that. So my same thing's going to happen to me. It's lifting off. So let me put a little bit more of this brown in here. Just kind of blend that up. Maybe a little bit more at the top. All right. And let's see. I am going to just choose one of these. Here's one that I'm kind of digging. I've been using this the last couple of days because I can position it a whole bunch of different places.
Oh,
And
I like that one.
beautiful leaves. And since we're doing kind of fall colors, I think that will be good. So I'm just going to sit it down here. I'm going to take another piece and pull. And just kind of pull I don't really have a good background I can use, but I can go ahead and pull this out. So I'm just going to kind of take this copy paper and just kind of rub it into the grooves a little bit. Now, I did, when I was working with this stencil yesterday, I was using some deli paper, and it works really good with getting it into the grooves, but this actually works pretty good too. I just want to make sure that I'm lifting everything out. I'm giving a little bit of pressure in some of these smaller little crevices. There we go. So
Nice.
there's what the print looks like with just those two colors, which in and of itself is pretty, I think. But then I'm going to lift this up, and here's another little trick that I learned that I'll share with you guys. One of the things that I do, cleaning your stencils is always a big question. So like, how do you clean your stencil? What is a good way to clean your stencil? So I said, well, what happens if I take one of my baby wipes right after I'm done? Well, this is drying because I want this have some drying time. And what if I just take my baby wipe and laid it down and then took the brayer and went over? So I want to show you what happens.
Oh my God.
Crazy, but I love it. Hold on. Let's stay in place. So look at this. Look what's happening. So I'm cleaning off my brayer for one thing. So this side's cleaning off my brayer onto and it's leaving an impression. But then the opposite side as well is picking up off of the stencil and leaving an impression over there too. So
Whoa.
now when this dries, I have something else to collage with.
Yes.
Isn't that cool? I know that's so simple as like duh, but and I'm sure other people probably have discovered that before too. But I thought, how cool is that?
That is very cool. I like that.
So anyway, moving right along. If I want to pull this, I'm going to actually pull this, like I said, with the metallic, and I'm going to use the Deco Art metallic again. I'm going to give it a good shake. I'm going to put it right over the top. You can see that glycerin coming out a little bit. The metallics are a big culprit for that. Let me just get it.
I tend to take my metallics and store them upside down.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that because I'm running into this more and more.
Yeah, yeah. They have a flat top, and if I just store them upside down and then I shake them, they seem to work better. I don't know why.
Here we go. And my brayer's not rolling. Wait, everything's a mess today here. Let me just pull out this little brayer here. I don't think it's the brayer. I think it's the pen.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with mine. Remember, there was
I do. And I don't know if it's the humidity or what, but
I don't know. It could be.
I've not had this happen before. Let me put a little bit more on. It's really pretty. I don't know if you guys can tell how glimmery it is in the
Very glimmery.
Let's see. Let's try this.
Yeah, mine's like not drying.
Well, it has been very humid here the last few days, but still, all in all, I think that's good enough to get my full. I need to pull out my thicker gold paint, I think, for this method. But anyway, we're just playing tonight, so.
Well, we're exploring. We haven't had time to just sit down and not have any pressure for a while.
I know, it's right. It's always been, a purpose behind what we're doing, because a lot of the ones that we've been recently were for the ultimate gel plate experience. And so anyway, we're having fun. We'll see what we get here. Anyway, I love that stencil. I think it turned out pretty cool. And then that cool new way of cleaning. So I got so excited with it that I ended up creating a whole bunch of them. I don't know what I did with them, but I created a whole bunch of dry wet wipes.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, that's beautiful.
But isn't that pretty?
That is very pretty.
And I left a lot on the plate, but anyway, I will definitely try this again on the next round, but I'm going to pull out my Arteza metallics to do that.
Yeah. I've got basic Liquitex basic metallics too.
Okay, so let's see what people are saying. So, oh, Corinne's here. We should have brought her on camera.
I
Hi,
should have
Corinne.
brought her on camera.
Yeah. Where did you get the acrylic base your plate is sitting on? Mine came from
Mine's
Dollar Tree.
glass.
Where do you get yours, Terry?
Mine's glass, and I couldn't get any more at Dollar Tree, so I bought 4 of them at Amazon for like $18.
Yeah, so I got mine and I got mine at the Dollar Tree, and they have them in stock sometimes, but not always.
Right.
And the last time I went in, they had them, and they had, this was great, Terry. They had the ones that didn't have the print, the
Yes.
preparations.
Yeah.
It's just a plain piece of glass, which is great. Because I didn't have to flip it and reposition the things. If you get the kind that has these little grooves in them, you kind of have to turn them over and work on the side that's smooth, or else you can get impressions in your gel plate. You don't want that. So that was a good question. Then Lori Randall says Top Plastics always has scrap acrylic for cheap. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Well, definitely we'll check that out. Thanks, Lori. Okay, are you ready for another one, Terry?
Well, I still got to pull this one. Hopefully it'll pull.
Well, hold on. Let me put you on spotlight so we can see it.
Okay, well, this looks like it's pulling. Look at all of the different colors that came through that. What I love about this method of just like plunking everywhere is that you just get so many different colors. You got the really reds, and you've got the magentas, and there's just all sorts of different colors in there. So I really
Yeah.
love
It's hard to see it on the camera, I think. All the detail that you have in there.
I'm trying to see if I can get it.
Yeah, it's refocusing, but it's hard to see, I think.
Yeah, there a little bit of it you can see. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, it's very, very, very pretty, and it'll do wonders for doing for doing collage work. So, well, my absolute favorite of all of the ones I got is this wave, and I don't know if I tried to buy more and I couldn't, but I absolutely adore this.
Oh, that one's really cool. Is that one from Temu?
It is, and it was $1.28.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It doesn't look quite as cool as it, I'm going to show it to you. If you can get it, it's a really nice one. Now, it does fit. This is one of the few that actually fits on the 5x7 plate. So that's good. I haven't been able to get it any bigger, but it was one that just really, I was like, wow, that really works well. So I'm going to do a quick one of that by trying to do, again, the kind of what Lori just did. I'm going to do 2 different colors though, and then maybe a third color. So here I'm just putting a darker blue. Now I have tried these. This is the Lucas Krill. Lucas Krill to me works really well for pulling, but one of the things you can see is they are a little pale, I guess is the best word I could use for it.
So not very saturated, right? So
they're not as saturated as I would like.
Okay.
So, but they are nicely, wet. So that, but they're not so wet that they start beading. So they work really well for pulling things because they'll wet things down really well. And the biggest problem with this stencil is the reality of it's just really difficult to get in all of these small places. So it's not as, it looks really cool, but it's not always as effective. I actually find that it tends to be more effective if I'm putting the color through it rather than trying to pull the color off of it. But still, it's really nice. So now I've got a little bit of a pattern there, and it's just about dry, because for some reason these things also really pull up a lot of the color, and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't know whether that's going to, it pulled up more color than I wanted. I had, I feel like I need to put another darker color of some kind on there, but I don't know what would work. So, do you have an idea, Lori?
So what do you have, like, yeah, oh.
Yeah, it's really pale.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what's gonna, you would have to use like a pale yellow or something like that. A very,
Yeah,
very pale color.
yeah, it would have to be a very, very, very pale color for it to even come up. I'm, you know, so I'm wondering if I should put, I've got this Blick Studio acrylic. Let's see what happens with it, because I know it's dry because there's nothing there. Let's put this Blick Studio acrylic down here and see what it looks like from the other side. I think I'm going to have to kind of do a third layer, because there's nothing really of that much interest there. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like really boring. So, I mean, let's see what happens if I do it again. Insanity is expecting, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But this time I'm going to do it less, kind of for a less amount of time. And I'm going to pull this up. And then, so now when I look at this end, I have some darks and some lights. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to put a turquoisey something in there, or a, no, this is a cobalt. How's that look? Do you think that'll work? So I'm going to have to dry it. So.
Okay. Do you want me to do a quick pull while you're letting it dry?
Or do I, yeah, well, I can probably do the next step right now. You're right.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's pretty dry. Very little.
Yeah, that worked well.
Yeah, I think this is gonna work well for what I'm looking for. I think it probably will take a few minutes to dry. I'm just gonna pull it on a piece of, this is just copy paper. So we'll pull it on a piece of copy paper. Why is it doing that? Sliding. I don't know whether, I think it was my plate decided to move. Not the piece of paper. Oh, that's gonna look nice. I think that's gonna look very
That's
nice.
beautiful.
It is. So that one's a really good one, but what I was trying to explain is usually you have to make more than one pattern on it. It's not one that you can just say, this is a one and done. For some reason, I find that I have to do at least 2 or 3 different layers with it to get it to have any kind of dramatic effect. But it's fun. So I don't think, oh no, yeah, I'm not ready yet. So your turn.
Okay. Well, I want to try something here. Let me spotlight
And spotlight, yeah.
my workstation. And so I have this stencil. I think I'll try this one this time. And what I want to do, I want to start off with this is a quinacridone magenta. It's an Artist Loft professional grade. And then I want to try pulling it with a teal metallic, which means this is transparent. The quinacridone magenta is a little transparent. And then this is also a little transparent. So I think they're going to blend where they overlap and be kind of a purpley color, but let's see. That's my estimation of what's going to happen. So, but this is play, so let's go for it.
Right. Well, it's always interesting to find out what's going to happen.
Oh, I need more. I can't believe how dry it is here. It's been so humid the last few days, and right now it's just like so dry.
Well, yeah, but then also the things aren't drying right. So I can't quite understand.
Well, Terry, you and I are both, East Coast. Well, you're North Carolina, I'm in Maryland. So we're both East Coast. So our weather is probably kind of similar.
Yes.
And it left me with a little bare spot there. So I'm trying to fix that. And just nothing is working right
You
here.
can't fix things. That's the
Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna use this one.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and I think I want to use a little bit of let's see, this is the tissue paper that you sent me, Terry. It's the wet.
Yeah, the wet strain.
So I think I'm gonna use that.
Are you using the shiny side?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which side. I do use the shiny or the non-shiny.
Shiny.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, the shinier side, because the other side does a really much a better job of attaching to your color.
It really suctions to the paint.
It does. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you can see it, which is great because it works really well for me to.
It becomes transparent, not quite as transparent as some of the rice papers, but I discovered something that's really cool, Lori, for transparency. Yeah. I discovered furniture polish.
What?
Pure beeswax furniture polish.
Okay.
It makes your your piece look like it makes it almost clear with a slight golden tinge. It is beautiful. Literally, it's unbelievable what it does. I didn't discover it. Somebody else said something, and then somebody else said, and about the third person I heard say something about it, I said, I've got to order this. It was Bonnie that had asked me if I'd used it yet. And I said, no. And then somebody else asked me, and then I'm like,
Well, that sounds very interesting.
One of the things I would tell you about when you clean stuff off like that, you have to remember to pull them off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they stick permanently.
Yep. Yeah. And store your brayer on its rest instead of on the roller.
On that roller, yeah.
All right, I'm drying this here a little bit. It only needs a second.
And then mine is not, yeah, I've got my little fan on it too, and it's not, I think I put it on really thick. But I was a little concerned because that Lucas was so thin. I didn't want to.
Are all the Lucas paints that thin like that, or is it just that?
Most of them are. The one that's like the cobalt teal, and they actually call it cobalt turquoise. Mm-hmm. It's pretty thick. I really like there's one that's called beige, which is really nice. But a lot of them are on the thinner side.
Okay, so now I'm taking my metallic aquamarine by Deco Art. I'm gonna put it on here.
So you're thinking that it's going to give you some purples in there?
I think so, because they're both a little transparent.
right,
If I could make my brayer roll it out correctly. And there's nothing wrong with my brayer. I just cleaned it and tested it. So it's the paint.
right.
It's definitely the paint. I'm just going in one direction now. Spread it across. It's working okay now.
Yeah, there it goes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to pull it on another piece of this tissue on the shiny side. Put it down.
The thing about the tissue is you can even pull it when it's slightly wet and it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah. The only problem with that, it's not cooling the
Right, yeah, you have to wait till it dries enough to
Yeah.
cool the.
So I'm gonna have to wait.
Okay, well, let me see if mine's ready yet. I've been trying here. Rubby, 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 rubby. One of the things that I find is if I rub it and get a little friction happening, it also seems to dry quicker. So we'll see. And that just might be my energy is just such. Oh, wow.
Carrie, that one's so pretty. That stencil's a winner.
That stencil is definitely a winner. If you can find it, buy it. Buy 3. Like
I wish it came in bigger sizes because I got out my
I know. Yeah, I would love it to come in the larger size, but it doesn't. But look at that.
That's like, ooh, that was pretty.
Yeah, did you see the one that I did? I think it was for the class, or maybe it wasn't.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, where
we did it in the live last week, in the gel plate experience.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It was just it ended up being a landscape, and it was just fabulous because it looked like it was underground in places. I just used portions of it, but yeah, I really like that. So how's yours coming?
Let's see.
I feel like I should have the YouTube up at the same time so I can see if anybody is saying anything. Notifications. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my thing. I'm going to play it. Great, so I've got it on here, but I can't see the chat. Here's my chat. Okay, so that didn't work. Did I lose you, Laurie? Okay, hello. What happened? Okay, so this is not working for me. That you or me? Okay, let's, yeah. Close. Hello,
Hi
anybody?
there, we're back, I think.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. My video is, oh, there I go. Okay, I'm on the wrong video, but hey.
All right, I'm gonna go take a slide back on the
Yeah, Sue says she just sees your thing just sitting there.
I think your volume's on, or maybe mine is.
Can you hear?
Okay, it is back live.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. We're back. It automatically connected back, but my computer just completely rebooted in the middle.
Oh, no. Well, it's probably set up to do it on Sunday nights when nobody was on it.
No, it's not how it's supposed to work. All right, well, so I was just about to reveal mine, so when we left
Okay.
off, so I will pick back up. Sorry, everyone, for the big blank spot in the video. I will edit it and re-upload it when we're done. But in the meantime, we are back. So I see a couple of people hung with us. We lost some, maybe we'll gain a few more. So I'm going to spotlight me for everyone. And so just to recap, what I had done is I put down some of the quinacridone magenta, a higher viscosity acrylic. This was the artist lock, and then I pulled part of it with a stencil right here, and then I came back with what was left on the ghost image with some metallic teal, and my expectation is that it's going to be kind of a purple and a teal, where that magenta and the teal mixed. So I have no idea, but let's just see what we get.
Wow.
That turned out pretty, and and I don't know if it's coming across on the screen, but it's metallic.
It's very metallic. It's very pretty.
Yep. So,
Very, 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 very nice.
yeah. All right. So, Terry, are you ready now that we had that long break?
I kind of got totally discombobulated, but so I'm not sure. I think I'll show another one of my cheapy things. I got this feather stencil.
Oh, let me spotlight you.
Yeah. This is another one. Now, this one again is one that really doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit. It really doesn't fit. I guess it could fit on this 6x6. See, I have a 6x6 over here. Maybe I should just switch to the 6x6, which I have all this weird stuff on. So let me think again. I think I just lost what I was going to do, I guess. So I have to clean off the 6x6 before I do anything with it. Do you have something in mind, Laurie?
I do. So I am going to do two different ones, but I'll do the first one while you're getting set up. I'll go ahead and replace my spotlight because this is a little bit different technique that I haven't really seen anywhere. And so I'm going to try it. This is going to involve alcohol inks. It's going to involve a stencil, and it's also going to involve pulling it on a black substrate.
Oh my God. Great
Yeah.
thanks to light. I just got the black substrate.
So I just have black cardstock right now, and that's what I'm going to use. This is like got a linen finish on one side. I think I'm going to pull from the smooth finish side, just because if I pull from this linen, it's going to leave an impression on the plate. And then I pulled another one of my stencils that I got this week, and this one's flowers and stuff. So I thought that would be kind of pretty. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use titanium white to do the first part of this. So I'm going to pull the titanium white on the black substrate. And then I'm going to come back with alcohol ink because it's transparent and do a pull on top of it. And so the alcohol, you won't see the alcohol ink on the black, but you will a little bit, but you'll mostly see it on the white, and so it'll stand out. So I want to pull out my titanium white, and I like to use the Liquitex Basics for this. And I'm going to put that down. I've got to take my brayer that's been acting up on me all night, but it's the metallic paints is the problem. There's too much glycerin in them, and it's pulling too much. So this is working just fine.
Yeah, it works fabulously.
Yeah. So I am going to put this stencil down. Let me just see kind of where I want it, like the big flowers in it, so we can really see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is take this black substrate, and I'm going to lay it down here, and I'm going to just press real good to transfer that titanium white to the black substrate.
Wow.
And I'm trying to see if I have, maybe I'll use the one I just pulled. Nah, I don't want to do that. I want to find one of my pieces that I have like it's the just kind of an ugly background that I don't know what I want to do with it and pull on top of it.
Right.
But let's just make sure I have this. All right, so there we go.
Oh, that's
the opposite of what I said I was going to do. I used the linen side. That's all right. We're still going to get the same effect. So anyway, it left this impression on the plate. So I'm going to take another piece. This time I'll do it on the non-linen side. I'll just go ahead and pull it on this. So what I have here is it's a cardstock. It's a black cardstock, but it's interesting. It's got a linen texture on one side. Have you ever seen that, Terry?
No, yeah, I'm here. No, I've never, I was just about to check mine. I just bought black cardstock, so I was just going to go check mine, see what it was like. I mean, literally. Now my black cardstock is the same on each side.
Who's watching and she said there's no movement or sound, so I think she needs to refresh. So I just typed it in the comments for anybody watching to refresh. I'll go back and edit out the missing part. So well, anybody wants to watch the replay, it'll be there without the crazy missing part. Anyway, there's this. I'm going to lift
Yeah,
this
no,
up.
I can see you on it. I'm watching it. on the
So I
side.
have the opposite image. So
Uh-huh.
the next thing that I'm going to do is come back and I'm going to pull out my other plate that I use for alcohol inks. Because I don't want to, and I got crud on there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And so I have some purple alcohol ink and some teal right here from the other day when we did our alcohol ink demonstration. And I'm going to put just a tad of this hand sanitizer down to help it, get it moving, just a tad. Let me just take my brayer and spread it around. And I still got white on my brayer, so that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a little bit of a problem, but I'm not going to worry about that too much either. All right, so I'm going to drop some of this ink down all over the plate. I'll come in with the teal. Just dab it around. A little bit more down here. And I could take my smallish brayer here and just kind of move it around a little bit. Just get it on here.
Also taken one of the stamp things, maybe?
Yeah, I have one here actually. I that. I don't have my felt that to me. I'm just gonna skip it and do it this way. Yeah, normally I don't like to mix the alcohol ink. I like to use the felt to texture. And so I have to let this ink dry, which luckily alcohol ink doesn't take very long and it will dry pretty quick.
So
I'm gonna
you have to let it dry to.
Because the alcohol inks dry really fast. So
yeah.
And I think we're actually almost there. So here's the beautiful part. So a lot of times if like we were painting and we used acrylic paint on a background and then we put alcohol ink on top of it, what do you think happens? The white paint kind of absorbs the alcohol ink, kind of blends.
Yeah.
It's really well, because we're going to pull this with a gloss medium, we have a barrier layer. Yeah. So that's going to be a key thing here. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and put down, this is gloss medium. And I'm going to take my brayer and just spread that gloss medium over my alcohol ink. Make sure I have it all over there. Oops. The gloss medium is going to allow the alcohol ink to release from the plate. It's also going to add a barrier layer between that and the acrylic. So if I take this, and I'm going to take it upside down so I can line it up and see what I'm doing here.
Excellent.
Okay. That is close. Okay. Turn that over.
I'm seeing how quick I can do one.
Oh, you're trying the same thing. Oh, I see. I'll share the screen, the spotlight, so everyone can see yours as well. I don't like to do that when we're live because people add spotlight, because if people are mobile, it's hard for them to see. So yeah, so Terry is here on the right side of the screen, and she's done the same thing. So she's taken a piece of black substrate, she's used some white paint, and she's used a stencil. Looks like almost the same stencil.
No, I used one of my big ones, but I'm going to kind of.
Oh, I have that one.
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's a Crafters Workshop one, right?
Yes, it's a Crafters Workshop one.
I love their stencils.
So you think that? See, I'm wondering if I just put it straight down, what happens?
Well, you could if your ink is still wet. But the thing is it's good. You know how the alcohol ink sort of sinks into the acrylic? and it's
Okay.
not as vibrant. That's what I'm thinking the gloss medium is going to help with.
Up with, right. It's gonna stop it from doing what it, yeah, it should.
Okay, well,
I
let's
have,
see. Let me do mine and then we can do yours. So you
yeah.
pull it up.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So if you had a very low viscosity paint too, you could do this with that. You could also do it with like acrylic ink and some of the other like real fluid mediums that are translucent.
Mm-hmm.
So
That would make sense. Oh, that's wet.
should
I gotta find something I can put the gloss medium on without.
so are you gonna do yours now? I'll spotlight you, Terry.
I'm just gonna try.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
So you're using a gel medium. You're using the same kind of gel medium, right? Or is it a different?
Yeah, using a gloss gel medium.
Right. I like pulling the alcohol inks with gloss.
Yeah, so do I. And then again, you're right. The easier way of doing this is flipping it over and putting it on so you can actually see kind of where you are. No, I was a little crooked there, wasn't I? That's,
I didn't line them up perfect. I should use the register, but I
know, and I have the register somewhere here. I haven't bothered to do it. So I want to show you this. Of course, I was trying to find a piece that I had. I wanted to show you how this furniture polish just makes things like almost see-through. It's so amazing.
Are you talking about on the tissue?
On the tissue paper, either the tissue paper or the rice paper. It actually does it on the rice paper too.
That's cool.
I use that thinner rice paper.
Right.
I was looking to see if I had a piece here that I'd already had some color on, but I don't have any. Okay, now there's mine. Well, mine didn't work as well as yours, but it could have been my color choices.
Yeah, I noticed that you have to use like lighter colors, and even mine were a little dark. So
yeah, I would think that the lighter colors would work better.
I'm
really curious though. This is my very curious. So, because I think that you might be able to pull it, that since it's dry, I'm thinking you might be able to pull it with
on top of it. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's see how that turns out.
I'm gonna try that. It might not be true, but I'm going to try it and see if, oops, and I forgot to put the medium on, so I'm gonna have to do my old-fashioned, where are my, there it is. So one of these things kind of to get some of this moved around. So I got some color moving around here. Let's throw some more color here in a couple different places. And I'm just going to see what happens if. Now, see, this time, though, the problem is I kind of can't flip it over because it's liable to drip, right? No, I don't know. Let me see how I can do that. Do it really quickly. 1, 2, 3, go. Because I'm thinking if it's dry, it is an acrylic. It's going to end up with, if it's dry, it's going to end up like a, just like the gel medium, but I might be wrong.
Oh, wait, yep, you're right. Look at that. So much more vibrant. But look how cool it is against that black background.
Yes.
So I'm going to try the same thing. Let me find color.
Yeah. I even have a little bit extra color here. Maybe I'll throw some on.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull out my pinatas for this. And I have this other one here.
Oh, wow, yeah, the piñatas will probably be fabulous on it. But yeah, but it has to be totally dry.
Yeah, so mine's totally dry now over here. So let me do that.
Okay, okay.
So
Yeah, 'cause
I'm gonna put this,
I think that might also work,
all
you
right,
know?
put it down here and then
So,
pull it really quick, really quick.
yes, it has to be really, really, really quick.
So I have chosen passion purple and the senorita magenta. And it looks
See, but
really
it's
funky
not
on
gonna
the
be
plate, but
dark.
these colors are super vibrant. So let's see what we get. Because I think I might get a couple pulls of something off of this thing. Here, hold on. Let me turn this over this way real fast, like.
Real fast. I love exploring.
Oh, I know, me too. Okay,
It's just like, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if?
well, that's how cool stuff's discovered, right? So,
Right, that is. I'm actually going a second time, seeing if I put a second color over this, does it make it more intense? Look at that.
oh, it's beautiful.
But I don't know why it's not doing like this area. It's not, yeah. Yes, it is. It's really kind of cool. Look at that depth of color. Wow, that's really pretty, Laurie.
It is, and I actually thought that having the gloss medium might be better. Actually, I think I don't think it makes them that much of a difference, to be honest.
No, I don't think it makes that much of a difference either. I think the gloss medium might even, it ends up, I don't want to say dulling the alcohol inks, but it might just a little bit.
Yeah, you might be right. I have another piece of this tissue paper. Look what's residual on my plate.
Yes.
I'm gonna pull that with some gloss medium.
Yeah,
I could just pull it with a white, actually, titanium white.
yeah, but the titanium white is liable to, when
Yeah,
you,
it's because it's wet, it's gonna mix with it.
right, when you
I'm
pull
gonna
it with the
gloss medium.
titanium white, it doesn't work as well. That's the hard thing to kind of try to understand, is when we pull it with the titanium white, it's not necessarily as
Vibrant.
vibrant, but it becomes very vibrant with, well, it's interesting.
So isn't that pretty? Like that's totally different. And I love the colors you use, those orange and the yellows there. That
Yeah.
really came out nicely.
That was the piñata, actually the piñata.
Senorita magenta.
And the yellow.
Yeah, so they mix together really nice.
Right. So you have a really great range with them. So.
Okay, let's see what we get here.
But the same things. Okay, so I will try pulling mine with the white because it's dry. So we'll see how much. So that was the gel medium.
Yeah, that was I used gel medium to pull whatever the ghost print that was on the plate.
Right. So I'm going to try mine with the white. Just why not, right?
And I need to clean my plate, so I'll do the same thing.
Right. I'm gonna have to use this big. Oh, there's my white there. Don't I have a white? It activated it a little bit. There's my little thing. Oh, I don't really need that
You
list.
look like you're having a lot of fun over there, Terry.
I am. Well, I decided that I went to put a piece down, and it's my list of things still to do. I need to figure out what the real uses of open paints are. I don't understand open paints, Laurie, because theoretically they'll stay open longer, but don't we want them to dry? So that's where I get so confused,
I don't know the answer.
because these people are saying, oh, I just love the open paints. And I'm like, but it would never dry.
Well, maybe their techniques aren't dry. The techniques they're using aren't dry. They don't want them to dry. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I guess if we just want to do like layer after layer, one layer at a time, but I don't know. What's mine gonna look like?
Well, hold on, spotlight you before you pull it. Hold on.
I'm not sure if it's ready to pull yet.
Okay, hold on.
You'll see, I pulled that with white. And it's
And it's
pretty,
muted.
yeah, it's a little muted. But I'm not sure if it's that much more muted. I don't know. Because when I was doing one of the projects I was doing, I was putting a white coating down first and letting it dry. And that's how I got the best intensity of color. That's why I thought of doing this way.
Yeah,
Because of my
I like
last
how that
project that I did.
very, very nice. All right, so now I'm gonna spotlight mine and I'll do this pull. And you know what I'm gonna try?
Okay.
My next one I'm gonna try. Do you have something else you're gonna try, Terry?
No,
So my next one I'm gonna try is I'm gonna do an image transfer with white and then pull it on a black substrate and then.
ooh, and use alcohol ink on it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how brilliant.
So it's a giant experiment. Haven't done it yet. So this one I just pulled a ghost print here. So that's just a good background for something. All right.
Yeah, that is a good background for
Do you want me
something.
to go ahead or you have
Yeah,
something?
you go ahead. You go ahead. I'm struggling right now. That inexpensive paint that I used, the folk art paint, the metallic folk art that had too much glycerin, is now peeling off of my plate. So I've been struggling to try to get it to get off my plate here.
So the first part of this, I'll go ahead and do on my my plate that's not stained, and then when I get to the alcohol ink part, I'll switch back to my stained plate because I want to make sure that you guys see what happens here. So a lot of times we do image transfers, we use darker colors like Mars black or some kind of dark tone, but you can also do it with a white acrylic or any color acrylic actually. This one I'm going to do with white, and we're going to pull it onto a piece of black cardstock. So let's put down the white on the plate. So the secret here is to have a thin coat of the white and as even as possible. So I'm going over it a few times. I'm lifting between layers. It might look like I'm going back and forth, but I'm not. I'm lifting between. So I've got a nice thin coat, almost can see through it a little bit. And then I take this is an image that I printed out on my laser printer. And I'm going to place it straight down. And I like to take one of my wider brayers. Where's my super wide brayer? It disappeared. Anyway, and go over it a couple of times. And I always take a peek to see if it's done. One more time. It's kind of drying faster than normal.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. And so it transfers the image to the plate, and then I want to let that dry for just a second. It didn't leave as much as I wanted it to actually. I've had better pulls with the white before, but I'm going to go with this anyway. Actually, I should have gone ahead and pulled it directly on here. I don't know if it might be too dry. We might have to start over on this one. Yeah, because what's going to happen here is I pulled it on there, but it's not white enough. I mean, you can see the image on there. It might be okay. Right. I really wanted a more a deeper impression here, but I think this is fine. So I'm gonna take my other plate, and I'm just gonna use the I need a yellow. Let me find my alcohol ink in yellow. Yellow is one of my go-tos, and so it's always, I use it up so much, it's hard to find. I had to get a newer bottle out. Okay. So I'm gonna put down a little bit of sunshine yellow. And a couple of drops of this Senorita Magenta. And where is my felt? Usually I like to have felt and just kind of dab it on, but right now I just use my writer here just to spread it a little bit. Gonna be mostly, it's gonna be mostly orange because
Right.
it's blending, but oh well. We'll get the idea. So all I'm gonna do now is take this while it's still wet. If I let it dry, then I need to use some gel medium to pull it, but while it's still wet, I'll place it down on here. Flip it over. Rub it. Put my lid on while I'm waiting for that to make good contact. Well, let's see what we have.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's actually really pretty.
Yes.
I wish I'd just used the yellow though, so the next one I would do that. I would just use the yellow. So that turned out not bad.
No, it turned out pretty good, I think. Of course, I'm trying to do a really weird one here. I'm trying to do a barn.
Oh, you are? So let me spotlight you then.
Well, I don't know whether it's going to work at all.
Well, let's see. Do you have so you already have a barn pulled?
I do. I already have the barn pulled, and I don't know.
Oh, I should have used the twizzle sticks to do that. That would be a great idea. Oh, that turned out pretty cool.
We'll see. Whoops, I should have done it the other way. I should have flipped it over and lined it up, because I can see I missed some of the bottom. But again.
But the white barn on the black background looked kind of cool, I thought.
I thought it might look really cool too. It looks like a ghost. Look at that.
Oh, love it.
I do. I really like it. Yeah, that's very fun. Very fun. Huh. Excellent. Excellent discovery, Lori.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I might have to play around with that a little bit more.
Yes, I can see me playing around with that a little bit more.
Actually, let's put us both on. Let's just do gallery.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So is there anything else you want to demonstrate or?
Not necessarily. It's, we've been here, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's been an hour and a half. Wow.
I know.
Time sure flies when you're having fun.
Right. I was thinking of trying to talk about doing some squares and the difference in the composition, but I don't really think, today, I think
we'll do it next time.
Yeah, we've done a lot today.
Yeah, I'm liking these image transfers on the black substrate. That's I can't wait to play around with that more.
Yes, and imagine doing it with a gold.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be so cool.
Give me, pull it with that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's, I don't know. So that's more, I will think about that later, Lori.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I've just had a lot of fun today. I really appreciate it. And I want people to know that, like, if they have questions, we are really good at figuring out answers.
I love the way you worded that. I'm going to switch it back to me so I can say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, I think I'll switch back to me too. Where are we? Okay. Yes, I just I mean, I know both of us, when something happens and it's not working and somebody says this isn't working, I'll spend 2.5 hours figuring out what's wrong. And those are the,
Yeah. Yeah, we want
Because that's
everyone to
just
have as
my
much fun with this as we do.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
So,
it's a passion for sure. But anyway, well, thanks everyone for joining in tonight. We're gonna try to do these on a regular basis. Terry and I are still ironing out like the schedules and everything, but we'll be sure to announce it everywhere we can. We have a website for our course called the gelplateexperience.com. And we're gonna soon have a newsletter.
ultimate gel plate experience.
The website itself though is just gel plate experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the class is the ultimate gel plate experience.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Because the ultimate gel plate experience was a long domain name. So we just went with gelplateexperience.com. But on that site, you'll be able to sign up for our newsletter, which we will use to notify people. So we're still working on getting all that set up. But we hope you check it out, and be sure to follow the channel here, subscribe to it, and hit, there's a little bell, I think, next to the subscribe button. If you hit that, YouTube will actually notify you when we go live. But if you want to know ahead of time so you can plan, the best way is to get on our mailing list. Terry, I actually have a personal mailing list on my website, trumpetart.com. Terry, you have one on yours too, don't you? TerryJones.com?
Yeah, TerryJones.com. So we both have them.
All right. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
And thank you, Laurie.
Oh, yeah.
Had fun.